There is a specific kind of pain that sleeps in the bottom drawer of your bedside table. It sleeps in the digital cloud, buried 3 years deep in your camera roll. It sleeps in the smell of a certain perfume you haven't worn in a decade, or a song that comes on the radio while you are stuck in traffic on a Tuesday. It is the pain of the artifact. You find a photograph. Maybe you are 22 in the picture. You are on a beach, or at a university party, or simply sitting on a couch in an apartment that you no longer rent. You look at that face. The skin is smooth. The eyes seem brighter, less guarded. The smile looks easy, unforced. And a thought, sharp as a needle, punctures your current reality. You think, I was better then. You think, I was happier then. You think, where did that person go? We are going to talk about the ghost of the former self. We are going to talk about the dangerous, seductive, and universal habit of idealizing the versions of us that no longer exist. Just as we discussed the pretenders, those who perform for the world to avoid rejection, we must now discuss the historians. The historians are the parts of our brain that rewrite our own pasts. They curate a museum of our history, where the lighting is perfect, the music is nostalgic, and the exhibits are lies. We look back at our past selves and we see potential. We look at our present selves and we see exhaustion. We look back and see a golden era. We look around and see a decline. But this comparison is rigged. It is a trial where the defense has destroyed all the evidence. To understand why we worship our past selves, we have to understand the architecture of memory. Because memory is not a recording device. It is not a documentary filmmaker. Memory is a painter, and it is a painter with a very specific agenda. Why do we look at that photo of our 20-year-old self and feel a sense of loss? We see a body that we think was thinner. We see a mind that was sharper. We see a spirit that was bolder. But here is what the photograph does not show. The photograph does not record the crushing anxiety you felt about your future that night. It does not record the fact that you were dating someone who made you feel small. It does not record the insecurity, the financial panic, or the loneliness you felt when the party ended. The brain has a phenomenon called the fading effect bias. It is a survival mechanism. Over time, the brain holds on to positive emotional memories longer than negative ones. The sharp edges of pain are sanded down by time, leaving only the soft glow of the event. So, when you look back, you are watching the highlight reel of your past and comparing it to the behind-the-scenes footage of your present. You are comparing your current internal reality, which is messy, tired, and complex, with a curated external image of who you used to be. We idealize the past self because the past self has one thing the present self does not: certainty. When we look back at our younger selves, we see them through the lens of survival. We know they made it. We know that the breakup didn't kill them. We know they got the job. We know they survived the winter. But the current you is walking in the dark. You don't know if this relationship will last. You don't know if your health will hold. You are living in the terrifying friction of the now. So we retreat. We run back to the safety of the past, not because it was actually better, but because it is finished. It is a closed book, and a closed book cannot hurt you. Just as there are archetypes of the pretender, there are archetypes of the idealized past. You likely have one that you visit in your mind when you are stressed or sad. First, there is the artist. This is the version of you before you had a mortgage, before you had a corporate job. You wrote poetry on napkins. You played guitar until 3 a.m. You travelled with a backpack. You look back at the artist and you think, I was so creative, I was so free. Now I am just a machine that generates emails. You mourn the death of your creativity. You view your responsibility as a cage. Then there is the believer. This is the version of you before the betrayal, before the divorce, before the failure. This version of you trusted people blindly. This version of you believed that if you worked hard, you would be rewarded. You look back at the believer and you think, I was so pure. Now I am cynical. Now I am hard. You mourn the loss of your innocence. Then there is the contender. This is the physical ideal, the version of you that could run a mile in 6 minutes, the version of you that fit into those jeans, the version of you that had hair or energy or unbroken knees. You look at the contender and you treat your current body with contempt. You treat your aging not as a natural process, but as a moral failing. We create shrines to these people, and the tragedy is, we let these ghosts bully us. We let a version of ourselves that hasn't existed for 10 years dictate our self-worth today. We wake up and apologise to the ghost. I'm sorry I got fat. I'm sorry I stopped painting. I'm sorry I became boring. This is a form of self-abuse. It is a way of rejecting the only version of you that actually exists. The one breathing air right now. We live in a culture that is obsessed with the peak. We believe that life is a mountain. You climb up during your childhood and young adulthood. You reach the summit sometime in your 20s or 30s, the peak of beauty, the peak of potential, and then, inevitably, you slide down the other side into irrelevance and decay. This is a lie. It is a linear, industrial way of viewing a human life. It treats a human being like a product with a shelf life. If you believe in the peak, then every year that passes is a tragedy. Every birthday is a funeral for your potential. But what if we are not climbing a mountain? What if we are ripening? The apple blossom is beautiful. It is pink and delicate and smells sweet. If you take a photo of the apple tree in spring, it looks perfect. But you cannot eat a blossom. It has no substance. It has no sugar. It takes a long, hot summer. It takes wind and rain and the risk of bugs for the blossom to fall off and the fruit to grow. The fruit is heavier. It pulls the branch down. It has scarred skin, but it is sweet. It creates nourishment. We idealize the blossom because it was pretty, but we are currently the fruit, the version of you that you are mourning, the 25-year-old with the perfect skin and the freedom. They were a blossom. They were also likely incredibly insecure. They were likely terrified of what people thought of them. They likely had no boundaries. They likely let people walk all over them because they didn't know their own value yet. You now, the tired, heavier, slightly cynical you have something the ghost doesn't have. You have gravity. You know how to say no. You know who your real friends are. You have survived things that would have shattered that younger version of yourself. We mistake our scars for damage, but in reality, our scars are proof of our complexity. We talked about kintsugi before, the gold in the cracks. The idealization of the past is an attempt to remember the bowl before it was broken. We want the pristine porcelain, but the pristine porcelain is cheap. It is factory made. The broken, repaired bowl is priceless. Why do we want to trade our wisdom for smooth skin? Why do we want to trade our hard-earned sovereignty for a naive happiness that wasn't even real? There is a darker side to idealizing the past. It isn't just missing who we were, it is missing who we could have been. We look back at a crossroads. The moment you chose this career over that one. The moment you chose this partner over that one. The moment you stayed in your hometown instead of moving to New York or London or Tokyo. We look back at that fork in the road and we hallucinate. We imagine the path not taken. And in our imagination, that path is perfect. In that other life, the phantom life, you are a successful artist. You are married to the soulmate. You are wealthy. You are happy. Because we cannot see the problems of the phantom life, we assume there are none. We torture ourselves with the unlived life. We stand in our kitchen, making coffee, looking at the bills, and we think, if I had just taken that other job 10 years ago, I wouldn't be feeling this. This is the grass is greener syndrome, but applied to time instead of space. Here is the brutal truth that cuts the phantom life at the knees. You would have been you wherever you went. If you had moved to New York, you would still be you. You would still have your anxieties. You would still have your insecurities. You would just have them in a smaller apartment with more noise. If you had married the other person, you would still be you. You would still have your triggers. You would still have your shadows. We idealize the past decision because we think a different setting would have changed the character. But the character is the constant. The pain you feel right now, the boredom, the fatigue, the doubt, is not a mistake. It is not evidence that you took a wrong turn. It is simply the texture of being alive. There is no path you could have walked where you would not eventually feel tired. There is no partner you could have chosen who would not eventually annoy you. To idealize the path not taken is to disrespect the path you are on. It is to devalue the millions of tiny steps, sacrifices, and victories that brought you to this exact chair, in this exact room. So how do we stop haunting ourselves? How do we close the museum? It requires a radical act of acceptance, not resignation. Acceptance. It requires looking at the current you with the same tenderness you give the past you. Why is it that we can look at a photo of ourselves at age 6 and feel only love, but we look in the mirror at age 40 and feel only criticism? That 6-year-old is still in there. That 20-year-old is still in there. They are encased in the rings of the tree. You haven't lost them. You have simply grown around them. To stop idealizing the past, we must stop demanding that the present be easy. The past looks easy because it is over. The present is hard because it is happening. We must realize that our golden era is a retrospective fabrication. If you could actually invent a time machine, if you could actually step back into the body of your 20-year-old self, you would be shocked. You would feel the crushing weight of their uncertainty. You would feel the paralyzing fear of their inadequacy. And within 5 minutes, you would be desperate to come back to now. You would want to come back to your comfortable bed. You would want to come back to your boundaries. You would want to come back to the knowledge that you can handle pain. You have outgrown that shell. It feels tight because you are bigger now. I want you to imagine a room. In this room, you are sitting on a chair. The door opens and your younger self walks in. The one you have been missing, the one from the photograph, the one who was perfect. Look at them. Really, look at them. Don't look at them as an idol. Look at them as a human. See how nervous they are. See how desperate they are for approval. See how much they don't know yet. They are looking at you. And do you know what they see? They don't see a failure. They don't see a decline. They see the person who survived. They see the person who figured it out. They are looking at you with awe. They are thinking, wow, we made it. We actually made it through that breakup. We actually found a way to pay the rent. We are still here. You are the hero of your younger self, not the other way around. Stand up. Walk over to that younger version of you. Do not bow down to them. Do not worship them, hug them, hold them close. Tell them, thank you for getting us this far. You did a good job, but I'll take it from here. And then let them go. Let them fade back into the photograph. They belong to the archives. You belong to the arena. The world is not behind you. It is not in the rearview mirror. The world is here, in the friction, in the fatigue, in the grey hairs, in the mess. This is where the life is. Stop looking for the ghost. Look at your hands. Look at the person across the table. Look at the sky today. It is imperfect. It is fleeing. It is decaying. And it is the only thing that is real. You are not a has-been. You are a becoming. And you are exactly where you need to be.